On August 21, 2021, multiple 911 callers from Waverly, Tennessee reported being trapped in their homes and unable to swim. A historic flood hit central Tennessee in what citizens described as a mini tsunami. The small town of Waverly, approximately 60 miles west of Nashville, was devastated by flash flooding. What caused this intense flooding to occur? In short, an old frontal boundary. A frontal boundary was present across central Tennessee. While this boundary was decaying, a weak upper air disturbance arrived from the northwest, followed by a flow of warmer, more humid air from the southwest. The inflow from the southwest brought moisture and humidity to the region, reaching records for that date in late August. The inflow of warm air combined with weak disturbance aloft created instability and a perfect recipe for thunderstorms. A low-level jet lifted the humid air to meet the weakening frontal boundary, which developed intense thunderstorms. Winds above the low-level jet aligned from the northwest to the southeast. This made the thunderstorm cells travel parallel and along the front. The individual cells in this thunderstorm repeatedly traveled over the same path, which is known as cell training. Due to heavy rainfall over the same locations for an extended period of time, the areas along the frontal boundary were inundated with rain and consequent flooding. Total precipitable water in the atmosphere reached almost 3 inches. Rainfall rates were measured between 2 to 4 inches per hour. While flood watches were issued almost 24 hours in advance, this historic event in central Tennessee became much worse than predicted. The first flash flood warning was issued on August 21 around 3:30 a.m. The rain started at 4 a.m. and within an hour, multiple roads were closed due to high waters. The National Weather Service issued a flash flood emergency around 7:45 a.m. This warning is reserved for severe threats to life and catastrophic damage. Flash flood emergency statements advised citizens to move to higher ground immediately and to avoid floodwaters. The heavy rain continued for nearly 8 hours. On August 21, some counties received over 17 inches of rain, which is a potential all-time state record for 24-hour rainfall. August 2021 precipitation was measured at up to 300% compared to average. Rivers rose out of their banks to historic levels. The river level at Piney River near Vernon, Tennessee reached 31.8 feet, shattering the previous record set in 2019 by almost 12 feet. In Waverly, the flooding along Trace Creek brought devastation to the town. In addition to the heavy rainfall, a railroad bridge over Trace Creek upstream of Waverly became clogged with debris. The clog created a temporary lake with approximately 47,900,000 gallons of water. Suddenly the debris was freed, and the water rushed into Waverly in a matter of 8 to 9 minutes. Downtown Waverly was overwhelmed with up to 4 feet of water in a tsunami-like wall. The flash flooding took the lives of 22 people. Over 270 residences were destroyed and over 150 homes had major damage. Over 10,000 families were without power across 4 counties. Some phone lines and telecommunication systems were down. The water treatment facility for the city of Waverly was disrupted, and a boil water advisory was issued. It was estimated that the Waverly flood caused $23.9 million of damage. President Biden approved a federal major disaster declaration for affected counties to receive federal recovery aid, reimbursement for debris removal, and financial assistance from FEMA. The SBA offered low-interest disaster loans to businesses in the affected counties. On September 1, 2021, just 9 days after the flash floods, Tennessee Governor Bill Lee announced National Preparedness Month in an effort to urge Tennesseans to better prepare for natural disasters. In response to the floods, FEMA began to remap floodplains in the central Tennessee area. By February of 2022, 6 months after the Waverly flood, hundreds of properties in Davidson County were reclassified to lie within floodplains. FEMA has updated at least 61 flood map panels, and many more are still pending update. While classified as a 1,000-year flood, the Waverly flood event was much more rare than a 1 in 1,000 chance, according to Jeffrey Bonin, a retired hydrologist from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, known as NOAA. He said that the amount of rain received in a 24-hour period in central Tennessee was so rare that NOAA doesn't have sufficient historical data to quantify it any further. The historic flooding in Waverly, Tennessee took the collaboration of multiple government agencies and volunteer support groups to begin the rescue and cleanup process. The hardest-hit areas are still recovering from the heavy rainfall and flash flooding, with years of rebuilding still to come.